Just felt like coming up on this shit right quick. Let you know that yeah, regarding the anger management project that was put out in I believe 2009. Um, that anger management project, it came together and it came about when I had an altercation with a family member, which I don't want to get into, but basically I had to go fight the system for 2 years to get my family back, and the system was trying to take my family away from me. So my head wasn't really screwed on as tight as it is now. So I kind of I lost focus in the sense that I forgot. I didn't forget about the art and the art form in which and to which God has called me, but I got lost in the art form. Um, I got lost in the art form in the sense that I was just taking my anger and putting it in the art without being more artistic, you know, in the sense that I can be more, versatile in the way I was presenting my art and my music and all my giftings. So basically, what I was doing, it was just utilizing my anger and taking out my frustration in that particular project, and that really, I handcuffed myself in the sense that, I was just angry. I wasn't even. Some people say, "Oh, you that was lyrical and blah blah blah." Yeah, it was lyrical to some, but to me, to tell you the honest to God truth, I wasn't even being lyrical. If you notice, I was taking styles from this person, styles from that person. It was just frustrated. I was frustrated against the industry stealing stuff from me. Over 20 years, I had music stolen from me. I had lyrics, styles, songs stolen from me from artists and known and unknown artists, and having money made off of my style, my imagery, my attitude, my whole persona, my whole being, my art form, and my versatility and whatnot. I have it picked apart and used by different record companies to give to their corny artists, and because they didn't have the they didn't have what I had, and they don't have what I have still. So, always remember that when you're sending out your demos as an artist, you're sending out your demos and stuff like that. It doesn't happen as much now because of social media and all the ways that your music can come out now as an independent, and the ways you can put your music out as an independent artist now, and then and as an independent record company or record label now, you can put your music out. But at that particular time, it was still very fresh, when I was creating all that. So, and I wasn't at that time. I'm just learning now and accepting the fact that this is a computerized state. It's a digital world. So I gotta accept it. But I don't like it. I hate it. But hey, you live in the world. You gotta breathe the air of the world, right? Even though it's polluted. So that's what it is. So yeah, basically, I want to just clarify a couple things regarding that project. I have no regrets in doing the project because it was very therapeutic for me. It helped me get a lot of things off my chest, but don't look at that and say that's who Dice is. I'm very versatile. I have many styles. I have many flows. I have many creative songs. I have probably over 5,000 songs that are written and put away. And I have, the ability, and I'm not bragging. I'm trying not to boast, and I'm really not hoping. I'm hoping that I'm not coming across as boastful. I'm just trying to let you know who I am and what I've done, what I can do, and more so, I pray by the grace of God I get to show the world or those interested in those materials that I desire to release over time and seek to release over time, and the materials that will be heard, God willing, by the people who are interested and who are so blessed to receive the music that I would provide by the grace of God in due time, God willing, whether it be now or in the future. But I'm working very, very hard. And yeah, that project, that's old news. But at the same time, I want to point something out. That project had many prophecies within it. Had many prophecies. There were things that were spoken about on that album, and I'm not gonna lie, because I did not know when I was making the album and making the songs, and some of that, like 50% of it, no, not 50%, about 40% of that album, 35 to 40% of the album was freestyle, because that's what I was doing. You know, I'm a freestyle professional. I'm a freestyle. That's what I always used to do in the ciphers in Toronto, on the blocks. I started that. Me and my crews, we started all that with the freestyles on the blocks and the streets and all that. We did that. So, and I was a big part of that, because I was always the one, you know, calling for the ciphers and whatnot. Some people may not understand or remember or even be aware of that, but yeah, I have a big part in that. I played a huge part in the early freestyles of even the late 80s to mid 80s, from mid 80s all the way up to the mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. Then I kind of came off the scene and got in the studio. So that's why they didn't really see me too much out there. But I got mad songs recorded. I got a lot of songs put away, and basically going back to what I keep coming off of it, but I'm trying to do this very quickly because I have other things I got to do. But basically, the Anger Management Project had a lot of prophetic words that came about after the fact. After the album was put out, years and years, that are still being fulfilled right now. If you examine that album when it came out in 2009, and the things that were transpiring, examine and listen to the album, the things that were taking place in the world, okay, at that particular time, and the things that were being said on that album at that particular time. Play that album now and think back within the last, we're in 2019 now, think back 10 years, okay? I wrote the album, it was a mixtape, I keep saying album. I wrote the mixtape, mind you now, like I said, 35 to 40% of it was freestyle, so you gotta keep that in mind. But I wrote it, what was written in 2007, recorded the whole year of 2008, and then released in 2009. So it was a project that a lot of time went into, but I was in court for 2 years. Like I was like, this is nothing to brag about. I was trying to like keep my head. Like I have a family, and my wife and everything is trying to be taken from me, and that I didn't like that, and even thinking about it now pisses me the fuck off, you know. But thanks be to God, things are back where it should be now, and you know, the wife's still stressing me from time to time, and the children, but you know, that comes with the territory. You know, if she don't play her cards right, you know, I'm gonna have to get me a dice girl, you know. But but you know, basically just put it back, draw your mind back for a couple years, reverse it a little bit, look at some YouTube clippings and whatever the hell they have up there, videos or whatnot, or just think back to certain major events that took place with tragedies, people committing suicide, and the mass casualties and of homicides and whatnot, different tragedies, people, I can't think of, there's so many, my mind is just racing, there's so many things that occurred. But if you listen carefully to certain words that stand out on that particular mixtape, certain scenarios that were depicted in my rhymes, and certain things that were said regarding police brutality, which came to the forefront within these last 4 or 5 years. As black people, we know black people in the hood, yes, we know it's always been there, okay? So we know it's nothing new, but the fact that it came to the forefront for the people, and I put it out there on display before it took place in such a light to where the news was actually taking note of it now, and the news is still, it's like the white, like the Caucasian in the world, and the rest of the world woke up, all this police brutality against black youths, they're killing all of them, they're killing them. What have they done wrong? We've been preaching that for years, you know, and the talks that we had to have with and we continually have to have with our sons and our black youth and our children, that you know, you gotta, you know, just basically hold your tongue when you're talking to the police, and just, you know, when they stop you, they harass you, just do what you got to do, be respectful, and just try to get out of there alive. That's basically all the things, like basically the confrontation of that thing that occurs on a regular basis, between black individuals and usually white cops, but it's usually of cops of all races, because the black cops, for some reason, I don't even want to get into that. We know what it is. So to black people, that's not new. Just so you white folks know, that's not new to us. But you guys just started to receive that. So it's like all these years you were thinking we were just playing the race card. Well, anyways, there's no such thing as a race card. There's a reality card. As a black person, there's a reality lifestyle card. So whatever, life experience card. You know, experience as a black man, as a black woman card, I guess you want to say. That's if you want to use cards. But it's reality for us. It's not cards. It's reality. And I think a white person made that up, or some racist person made up the race card thing just to silence us when they get sick of hearing about it. But we can't get sick of talking about reality, because it's something that is here, will always be here, and never change. You know, we can fight and we can try to make it better through the grace of God. But if one side is never going to change, then, you know, we can only change within ourselves. So it's up to each individual to look within him or herself to see what he or she wants to do, and what type of person he or she is choosing to be and will be in this world. You know, you may be in a world where everybody's a devil, or the majority of people are devils, but you can choose not to be such. You know what I mean? If you're working in a situation where everybody is devilish, doesn't mean you have to conform to their ways. You can stand out and be a light amongst the devils, and be a light in the dark. So that's what I'm trying to be, a light in this dark world. Yeah, I'm not perfect. I say crazy things sometimes. I do crazy things sometimes, but I don't hurt people. And I try not to disrespect anybody. If I'm disrespected, sometimes I disrespect people back, because that's just in my nature. I'm a fighter, and that's the way I was raised to be. That's the way my father taught me to be. So unfortunately, some of that I don't want to have in me, but I do have it in me, and it's there. So anyways, yeah, so the prophecies are there. On the anger management, it's a Dice. The artist is Dice. The title of the mixtape is Anger Management, released in 2009 under Uprising Records, UPRIZEN Records, not with an S, but with a Z at the end. And so Uprising Records released mixtape. It's worldwide, so you can get that anywhere. Well, most places online and whatnot. You can request it at the record stores, but I'm not getting paid. So that's another thing. I'm not getting paid for that. I'm getting pennies and cents. The big corporations are getting monies. I'm selling a lot of records, thanks be to God. Considerably when it comes to comparing. I'm selling a lot of records, considering the fact that I have no promotion, very little promotion, and I'm not gonna be promoting that particular mess anymore. My head is screwed on tight now, like I said, and well, as tight as it could be for now. Like I said, I'm not a violent person at heart, and I don't do anything to disrespect anybody. But sometimes, if you feel disrespected, you raise a certain way. You have no. It's not a thing where you think about it and you make a conscious decision. Okay, I'm gonna be disrespectful back. It's just a natural reaction. So that's something I'm praying that. I kind of don't want it to leave, because I need that edge in this world. If you're not a certain way, then people will walk all over you, and I don't like being walked on or disrespected. So, if you slap me, I won't necessarily spit in your face, but if I'm making some food for you, it might taste kind of funky. You know what I mean? So That's something I gotta have, gotta deal with. So I'm not perfect. You can see that for yourself. I will always speak my mind. I'll speak the truth. If it hurts your feelings, I'm really sorry, but that's what it is. So everything is in a nutshell right there for you. Unpack that how you want to unpack it. Wrap it. Give it to somebody else as a gift. All right. 100. 2019. DICE. Uprising Records. The movement.